I told you not to worry. Don't worry. Not worry. Practice. Don't forget tonight, big auction. Got the coolest car audio stuff. It's awesome. What? R8RBEAR! I said car audio. I meant to say car auto. Because I don't have any audio stuff. No Raiders. You know, Raiders, speakers or stereos or anything like that kind of stuff. It's like a different version of the song I like. Wait, I'll fix that. I'm ready! Let's go! What's up, Rock Raider? Let's go! Let's go! Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! The R8RBEAR! R8RBEAR! Rick and Morty Raiders! Rick and Morty Raiders. See, I gotta use my opening more often. I like to do it live, so that's my thing. Tradish! R8RBEAR live! First comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to Jim, who's dogging everybody from his hospital bed. Vanderlyn! The heavyweight champion of the world. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hope you're relaxing. Appreciate you. And now, second place. Wait a minute, 4 or 5. Now you've got 6 now? I didn't know there were 6. I thought 5 was all the bear emojis that there were. But yeah, that's another bear emoji. Oh, no, it's not. You cheated. That's the polar bear again at the end. There's still only 5, Mark Vargas. Oh, oops. Mark Vargas! That emoji making son of a gun. Third place, my bronze medal goes to John the Lion Leon. Always catching L's, but never taking losses. John the Lion Leon. Honorable mention to Martita Morgan. What's up, Martita? I don't recognize your name. If you enjoy the show, please consider a subscription to R8RBEAR family page. It's just $5 a month, but you can cancel at any time. That's only $60 for the entire year. And more shut up, phone. Shut up, phone. And more importantly, from subscriptions like yours, we give to charities all over the world. I'm kind of getting famous for it now. Kind of a thing I'm proud of. Facebook. First place, numero uno el jefe. Lucky Pace! LP, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show with the sultry, sexy voice he has there. Very, very Barry White. Very, very White. I like that. Second place, silver medal, Steven Shaw! And Mrs. Shaw. Hi, Mrs. Shaw. We love her here. We love the wives here at R8RBEAR family page. Third place, my bronze medal goes to And you guys know I love it when a Raiderette slides into the sausage fest. That is my medal round, because there's always way too many dudes. Well, Karina! True! Hello! She gives so much to Raider Bear Family Page that she gets the bell associated with her name at all times. Honorable mention to Troy Gill, who I still owe a hat to. Troy, I have not forgotten you. I just have to get the right one, and then I'm going to make it happen, Captain. Tony Carpenter Evans, hey love, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Jim Garrison, always there for a Raider Bear. Mike Brown, how you doing, Mike? Good to see you. I'm doing great. I'm hearing more news about what the Raiders are going to do, and I'm really excited about it. Now, tonight on auction, to the contributor of the most stars tonight, I have to take this out of the box. I have it right here. Will go. Look, it's too big to even be on the show. The car, truck, floor mat, heavy duty design, Raider logo, ready to go. To the contributor of the most stars tonight, will go that fine item. It's like, I don't know, it's like a $50, $60 value. It's more than that, but someone's going to get a nice price tonight. Corinna, Steven, getting us off to a good start. Steven, appreciate you, brother. Welcome to the show. Okay, let me get going now so we can talk a little bit of football. Anna Diaz Rincon, my first supporter ever. Hi, love. Chris Strong, you're going to do all right, man. We got prayers up for you. We take care of ours here on Raider Bear Family Page. Raider C-Dub, what's up? Raiders! Ah, she said hi and go Chiefs. Okay, hi back and no. I need a squirt bottle for her like they do with dogs when they won't stop fighting. Psst, psst, Mrs. Shaw. Psst, psst, psst. All right, let's get to it. So the Raiders have the second most cap space in the league as of right now. Ready? $92 million. That's right. It's like 92.6 or something like that. So we have just a dizzying amount of cap space. Now, it's kind of a mirage, but only because we do have at a minimum 8 guys right now. 8 guys that are on the, hey, I want a new contract because I outperformed what I'm making. For example, Trayvon Merrick is expected to get about 15 million, maybe 17 million, somewhere in that range a season. We've been paying him 6.5 million. So, you know, we've been getting our discount on Trayvon Merrick, but it might be time to pay that man and move forward with a hell of a safety. Right on, Chris. And you're welcome, brother. Mad love, Raider Nation. Okay, so let's look at that for a minute. So Trayvon Merrick was making 6.5. I was just double checking my notes here. That was correct. He's expected to go up to 15 million per year. Then you have Robert Spillane. Now, I don't know how many of you feel about this, but to me, Spillane not only has outplayed his contract, but in my opinion, has solidified himself, unlike a lot of, middle linebackers we've had in the past who were very good players, but they were somewhat past their prime. You guys remember Navarro Bowman and Patrick Riley Jr. and, they were great linebackers, but they were, 36, 38, had some injuries. In Navarro Bowman's case, he had bad knees. So we made those guys work at that time until we could find something that was more cohesive. I think Robert Spillane is it. I think Spillane is it. I don't think there's any doubt that Spillane should get his money. I really do believe that. I think Spillane should get paid. Now, Spillane was making, let me see here. Okay, he was, oh, wow. Okay. Oh, it's not giving me his exact number. It's giving me an estimate. Well, he was making somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 million and would now be getting bumped up to 9.5 million. That kind of that sounds low to me. I don't know why that sounds low to me, but that sounds low to me. Oh, he's 29. Okay, well, that's kind of part of it. You're getting a little bit older finally. Okay, Malcolm Kuntz, he's projected to go up to 18.75 at defensive end. I think this might be one of the areas where we wish him well. You know what I mean? He's only really had a half a season. In all the time that he's been with us, he's had one half of a season. And that was when he was playing for AP, when AP was the interim coach, and slapped him on the butt and said, go out there and get him. I believe in you. And then he gave him minutes, and Kuntz really performed well, getting 6 sacks in the final 5 games, a lot of pressures, and he looked like he had kind of, come out of his shell and was ready to play. Well, that might have been in part because of what AP did for his confidence. And with AP gone, and the fact that you're going to pay a guy a lot of money who's only shown you a half of a good season, and every season he's had prior to that was average to bad. I like Malcolm Kuntz, but no way. No way I'm paying him. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so Taron Johnson, the safety nickel for the Buffalo Bills is making $10.25 million. Right now, Nate Hobbs, our nickel star defense, you could argue our number 1 or number 2 best defensive back on the Raiders, Nate Hobbs. He is due to make somewhere in that range of like a $2 to $4 million bump up. And I think that one, I think you pull the trigger. I think you pay Nate Hobbs. I think that he's valuable. I think he's only hurt every once in a while, like any normal pro. It never seems to be too lingering. He gets back out on the field. He still plays like a monster. I'm looking at re-signing Nate Hobbs. Okay, now, Divine Diablo. I don't know. We had him thus far at 2.75 million, which obviously that's peanuts for the NFL. And he's projected to go up to somewhere between 5 million and 6 million. The projection says 5.5 million. Having said that, if we let him go to save the money, he just probably ends up on the Broncos or the Chiefs or the Chargers, and we have to deal with him. But I don't think that's that bad. He's a good little linebacker, but he's never really come to completely to fruition. Okay, Adam Butler. Adam Butler's projected to go up to 6 million. Let's see. Okay. Okay, okay. He's coming off a career year. That OTC.com said that he should go up to 8.1 million. That's not too bad. I don't really have too much more notes than that because I've been kind of making these notes. I don't actually have all the articles. And then Marcus Epps, I really like Marcus Epps, but I don't think that's a position that we can't change if we really want to hold on to some of that cap space and then make moves in free agency. I think there could be other lucrative safeties that could come on and we'd be okay. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm being a flea market shopper because now we're talking about John Jenkins. To me, you pay John Jenkins. Didn't miss a game. Stuffs up the middle. I'm paying John Jenkins for sure. I don't know how many other people, think that's a good idea, but I think that's a good idea. I like paying my big boys. You know what I mean? Now, if you do sign, let's say we sign each and every one of the guys I just mentioned. Okay, so that would be, hold on, where's my, okay, so that would be, this list is so long. Okay, 8 guys, right? Trayvon Merrick, Robert Spillane, Malcolm Kuntz, who I think is a casualty, Nate Hobbs, Divine Diablo, casualty, Adam Butler, casualty, pay Adam Butler, let Marcus Epps go, John Jenkins, pay him, and then if we were to pay each and every guy, we would only have 22.25 million left. And that's if we get them at what we're projecting we would offer them, which is more money, but will they want even more money and disagree with us as to what we want to pay them? So hard to say. Okay. Oh, right back to it. Steven Shaw! If you need floor mats for your car, and you're a Raider fan, I don't know how you can pass on this. I mean, look at that. They're just sweet. I love that. It's incredible. I love it. Yes, I have a pair. Mark Vargas, who will be our next head coach? Well, the Raiders are doing this really simple. Okay, they're not putting what I would call a lot of nuance on these coaching decisions. Where is that? Okay, for example, the New York Giants assistant general manager is Brandon Brown. He's been invited back for a second interview with the Raiders. To me, that's compelling because obviously if you have a second one, they've gone through the first, you really like them enough, you're going, hey, come here, we need to ask you a few more things. That's just a little tickling. That's just to see if he gets along with the staff. Can he go through the locker room and say hi to the guys? That kind of thing. And then the owner has to kind of feel him. You know, does the owner feel him? You know, does he like his attitude? Does he like his knowledge of the game, etc.? Because if you get through number 2, you have the job. So I'm saying general manager could very well be Brandon Brown, the assistant general manager or soon to be formal assistant general manager of the New York Giants. And I got to be honest with you, I'm looking at his photo right now. I think that he's probably the closest thing to a general manager looking like a player that I've ever seen. I mean, he literally looks like he could suit up right now and play corner. He is ripped. Mike Brown. Okay, let's see. Reson, Kayvon, Chason. John, he did come on late, but I feel kind of Malcolm Kuntz about him. I think that we enjoyed Chason because he brought something we just didn't have. But I don't know if that's because he's a great defensive end that could bring something to the table, or is he just average and we were just so thirsty to have a guy come on and play hard for us that when he did, we all fell in love with him. Because I like Chason. I was watching him when he came over from the Jaguars. I was thinking what a great free agent sign that was. He is a just ripped stud, but his body weight's a little low. He can't really jam up offensive linemen. He has to always use speeds and spin moves and swim moves to get through. I don't disagree with you. I just don't know if I'd be on board with that. Kuntz is also coming off an injury and will take a bit of healing fully. We may give him a prove-it deal. No, Tana, well, I mean, not saying no, you're wrong. I'm just saying I hope they don't do that. I've had enough of Malcolm Kuntz. I just feel like sooner or later, a guy is supposed to, in those first 2 to 3 years, is supposed to show you something. And he just never has. It wasn't until just year before last, 2024 season, with Antonio Pierce going to him and, you know, basically saying, it's your job, go get it, kid, while Josh McDaniels was making him sit on his butt. So he played a little harder for coach for that reason, but come on. Nice. Mike Brown. Chris Strong said, I say keep Spillane above all of them. Leader on the field with production. He will take a team-friendly deal with a signing bonus for sure. Chris Strong, you know what? Or he may take a big deal, but then tell the football team that he's absolutely willing to restructure. See, what you hear a lot of players, they prefer that because what the team is doing is they're saying, here's a huge sum of money, the kind of money that you feel like you deserve. We weren't going to pay that much. But if you consider letting us readjust that later on down the road, we'd really appreciate it. So now what happens is if you do it that way, as opposed to at the beginning of the negotiations, what happens is they want to give you a haircut for like $10 million. Whereas if it's mid-year, you can actually do all the math, you know exactly what you need. Now that $10 million turns into 6.25. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm keeping that extra 3-4 million deal. You know what I mean? And that's what the players are talking about. They want control of that moment in their contract. Steven Shaw! I see. Yeah. Okay. And then also, um, I like John Jenkins coming back. I like Spillane coming back. I'd like to see that. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying I'd like to see that. I feel like the run game did improve there, and I think we could really be better. Chris Strong, honestly, I wish I could be their GM. I really do. Even if it was one of those like game show things where they say we're going to let a guy be the GM for the year. And the moment I walked in the door, I would say, look, I know I'm not really the GM. I'm not. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. But can I just throw ideas at you? I just want to really have you listen to me so that I can give you what I think is a philosophy that wins and go for that. And for example, I'll give you guys an example. I swear I would say this on day one. We never let another team's star player beat us, ever. I don't care if it's the quarterback or the running back or the wide receiver or the tight end. You never let the other team's star beat you up. Because when you do that, it gets the entire team fired up. Because they know that's their dangerous weapon and it's working. Get it? Whereas if you take their dangerous weapon away, now they go, whoa, wait a minute. Who else is going to do this for us? Who else should we give the ball to? Even if there's a clear number 2, they don't have as much confidence in a 2 as they do in an alpha, a 1. So my defensive principle is always take that away. So for example, if you play the Eagles, you have to play a max protection against the run game the entire game. And just tell your corners, look, you're going to be on an island on your own with no help on 7 out of 10 plays, 7 out of 10 snaps. We're not going to be in any formation other than run jam. No running game. He must stop. I don't, not only people say you got to hold a running back under 100 yards. No, I'm talking about 80 yards. I don't even want him to get to that. And I don't care if he happens to get a touchdown. They're a good team and he's a great player, but he's not going to get a crazy amount of yardage. He's not going to get a bunch of touchdowns. Maybe one, because Saquon Barkley's great. It's going to be hard to stop him. But I would never let that guy be the reason why they won the game. That's what they want. What's up, Gabe? Raider Dog, I gotta tell you, man, I don't want Deion Sanders. I really don't. I like the idea if Shedeur Sanders is there and they want to draft him, I'm fine with that. I know people are all, we've got so much debate with Raider fans that are saying, no, this guy, no, this guy. And I gotta tell you, I love Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is the pick, but I also could tell you that there's at least 6 other quarterbacks in this draft that can run, that have big arms, that are pretty accurate. But when you mix them all in a blender, the name I reach for is Cam Ward. Because unlike what is being told in the press, Cam Ward is the only guy among these guys that played on 2 or 3 different college teams and made every stop he went to better than when he got there. See, that's not normal. That's not normal. It doesn't matter what level you're playing at. You shouldn't have a guy go to multiple teams at the same level and consistently be the alpha on that team the moment he walks through the door. I'm impressed with that. I think Cam Ward could become the alpha of our offense, a Michael Vick kind of effect where his legs scare you, but he can beat you with his arm and his mind all day long. I like Cam Ward a lot. Corinna, Steven, Shaw, Tony, Carpenter, Evans. Always showing respect for my Tony Carpenter Evans, TCE. I hate to say his name, but Bill Belichick was great on picking the opposing team's best weapon, taking their best weapon away. You know, Jim, we don't have to necessarily praise him, but you are right. That is something he did. And I never understood why, if the rest of the league thought he was such a genius, why wouldn't you just copy that? Yet you saw almost no one do it. It made no sense to me. I've always defended things that way. I did it at high school. I did it at junior high school. I did it free with the COPS program when they had kids with boys and girls. They could all play. They were really cute. All their parents came. It was adorable. And I was coaching all of them to win after win after win after win. I even had this little redheaded kid, little boy. He was like 9 years old and like 2 feet tall. But do not judge a book by its cover, because that little spotted little monkey could shoot the 3 like a beast. And as soon as I saw him doing it on the practice, I'm all, come here. We're going to get you that shot, and don't you dare hesitate. Do you understand me? And he's like, all scared because I'm yelling at him. You know, you shoot that shot. Mike! Round! Oh, so Raider, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Good to see you're feeling better. Eric Bell, look, stay at 6. Get the dude from Penn State and the defensive end. Okay. Well, you know, I don't argue with anyone who wants to choose to use this draft as a way to say, I'm going to get a really good bookend defensive end player for Max Crosby. How could any of us argue with that? Now, granted, we do need a quarterback, but let me go back to my, excuse me, just a moment. Let me go back to the hiccups all of a sudden. Let me go back to my, top quarterbacks. Where'd it go? Hold on. I had my tab up there. Okay, there we go. I just found it. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying. So let's take the 3 top quarterbacks off the board, okay? So Shedeur Sanders comes and goes. Cam Ward comes at 3 or 4. Someone picks him up. Then we come up at 6, and we say, you know what? We're going to take the best defensive player, defensive end, this guy from Penn State. All right, so now fast forward, then you still have Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Curtis Rourke, Jackson Dart, and Riley Leonard. And by the way, the 9th guy I mentioned, Jackson Dart, a lot of people have him as a dark horse. And I mean a dark horse. They think he could be either a bust or he's going to win Super Bowls. Because he's got it. Got that thing, is what you hear more and more about Jackson Dart. And so there's a very high likelihood with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks. 7 that are all 82.9% or better on their overall ratings as quarterbacks. That's phenomenal. So that gives us that many more opportunities to go right back in there and get a quarterback. And so I wouldn't be, angry if they went away from the number 1 pick to get their quarterback, but it could be risky though. It could be risky. Jenkins and Butler and Roberts should be re-signed, and so Spytek will be GM. Okay. Let's get Pete Kendall. Okay. Coretta! Steven Deuces! And Mrs. Shaw. Eric Bell says, exactly, I'm feeling him. Appreciate that. Mike Brown, let's get rid of Tyree Wilson for a 6th round pick. Mike, I would have to agree with you. I would have to agree with you. But I would say we probably could do better than a 6th round pick. Now, I realize you're saying 6 because of his production level and obviously his injuries, so he's kind of hard to argue as caviar when you're buying him at McDonald's. That explanation went all over. But the point I'm getting at is he was a number 1 pick. So I would argue that because he's the number 1 pick, he has number 1 pick potential, and we're still in his 4-year window. And looking at your profile picture, Mike Brown, if that's you, then by that gray hair, I know that you are an elder statesman. I'm showing absolute respect. So I would say to you, don't you remember that era of football, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, even early 2000s, where when you drafted a guy, they weren't expected to just run right out on the field and be a star. You usually waited at least a year or 2, sometimes longer. I mean, have we all forgotten how long Aaron Rodgers, when he went to Green Bay, sat behind Brett Favre? And I realized it was Brett Favre, but they were ready to move on from the guy, and they just didn't do it because, they weren't sure. Would you trade for J.J. McCarthy from the Vikings if they end up keeping Sam Darnold for a second rounder? No, Tom, because great profile picture, Tom. No, Tom. And the reason I wouldn't is because I can answer your question definitively. The Vikings are going to go with J.J. McCarthy. There's not going to be any more Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold will go out and test the market. And he played so well and showed such a strong arm and showed such a galactic improvement from where he was to where he reached with the Vikings that there's no way Sam Darnold stays with the Vikings. There's no way. Because they're not going to give him a huge contract because they have to figure out if J.J. McCarthy's the deal because they've got him on his puppy contract where they can pay him next to nothing. And if he plays like he did at Michigan, they could win some games with him. And in the meantime, you don't have to pay the guy that's already on your roster that you've already used. You know what I mean? For example, with Sam Darnold's track record, how could anyone gamble that he'll have another good year when all of his previous years were, at best, all right. James and Princetta Walker in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for a R8RBEAR. Steven Shaw. Steven, one more time. Covering that truck. Hello. Steven. Appreciate you guys. Bill Cox, I appreciate the love, brother. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I felt so bad. I mean, COVID is no joke, man. I've never had anything knock me down like that. I just knew it wasn't going to end me, but I've never had something make me feel that terrible. It was crazy. COVID is legit. And I know a lot of people that are watching this probably know that either from a loved one getting it or you getting it yourself. But, oh man, that sucked. But now I've gone through 3 of the worst. COVID, oh God, what's the other one? No, pneumonia. And then the other one with the, where you get the like chicken pox bumps and it only hits you when you're 50. And I was like, oh my God, it was a nightmare. Bear! Hi, Vicky. What do you think of Max saying sign Najee Harris? Eric Bell, he knows Najee Harris. I don't know how well, but I just know he knows him. He would rather see us bring in a veteran running back like that has shown he can play and trust him with the ball as opposed to trying to find a guy coming out of school and maybe miss. We still need to strengthen our O-line. Otherwise, it'll be hard for any quarterback to be successful on the field. Raider Travis, no argument there. That's why I feel like this draft could benefit us because it's technically more defensive laden, lots and lots of talent in this draft defensively, whereas offensively, there's offensive players, but you're kind of getting the best of the best, and then the drop-off is significant enough that you got to get what you get at each position in this particular draft. Number 1 is great. Number 2 is really good. And then it drops off. Wide receiver, running back, defensive back, everywhere. And so you got to figure they're going to be looking for offensive linemen because offensive linemen you don't rate that way. You know what I mean? If they're big enough and they can move their feet well enough, you can get to the NFL and they can coach you up in a system. So now if you have Colton Miller on your left shoulder and Andre James or Parnham at center on my right shoulder, I've got those 2 guys boxing me in. I could be a blind, complete, virgin rookie player and still carry my own just because I've got such veteran presence on either side of me. So I would argue that we got to really get better at guard and we have to get a right tackle that solidifies that position the way Colton Miller does at left tackle. If we can do that, we'll start winning games because the real key to winning football games is the line. Whether it's the offensive line or defensive line, doesn't matter. You have to play the trench and win the trench. You have to. If you don't win the trench, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, none of them can do what they want to do. You have to win the line. If you can't stop the other team's running back, if you can't get pressure on the other team's quarterback, you can't win football games. How does that all happen? Pressure developed by defensive tackles and defensive ends, the trenches. So you got to win the trench. So trust me, you're preaching to the choir when you're saying we got to get better on the line. I completely agree. Armando Medrano, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Oh, Corinna, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, Steven, it does. It was super tough. Mrs. Shaw, Corinna Trujillo. Where'd you go, Tony Carpenter Evans? Let's get P. Candle and bring back the Legion of Doom. Okay, now it says let's get P. Candle, but I know you meant Pete Carroll. I'm good at those kind of games. You know, it's rhymes with Pete, rhymes with Cradle. Pete Carroll, I don't like that people are talking about his age. I don't think that's relevant. You have to remember, as the head coach, you're more or less the captain of the ship. Okay? Now, whenever we see any sort of pirate movie, the captain of the ship really doesn't do that much other than tell everybody else what to do. Okay? Football's not really all that different in that way. You got to get good assistants. You got to know a lot of football, and you have to be able to command respect both from your staff and your players. I think in all of those categories, Pete Carroll excels. And you are hearing that one of the only people that got a second interview at head coach was Ben Johnson, obviously, and Pete Carroll. Now, I do think the Raiders are going to do a little bit more investigation into other names for head coach, just for the sake of doing it. But as of right now, it does look like, with Ben Johnson out of the equation, that it could be Pete Carroll. And I don't have any problem with that. Bear, with Mike Tomlin saying big changes in Pittsburgh, do you see us possibly going after Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? Or do we maybe go after Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback that looked pretty good last night winning the national championship? I always like veterans over studs in college. I always do. To me, there's no comparison between the two. You either have a really great player that can play quarterback, or you go in the draft and you pray that that guy will work out. I'm not really interested in doing that anymore. In fact, as much as I was killing Russell Wilson for being washed and dried, because I didn't say he was just washed up. I said he was washed and dried. But I got to tell you, he played well enough, in my opinion, that he absolutely should get another starting job from someone. I would just like it to be us. And then we could groom whoever the rookie is we bring up, but try to win in the meantime with a Russell Wilson. I would absolutely be interested in that. Justin Fields, even though he's the younger guy, the younger version of Russell Wilson, not interested. Mike Brown, Steven Shaw, and Mike one more again. Appreciate the love on the stars. And know this, whoever wins, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit extra on there just because I love everybody. With age comes knowledge. Not only that, Vicky Ginn, I think that a lot of these players, they won't say it to you, but the truth is they really do need someone that kind of can embrace them and go, hey, man, I believe in you. You know what I mean? Think back to when you were a kid in high school and you were just hoping your dad would be in the stands and see you while you made great plays. Well, I'm that guy, Pete Carroll, okay? I'm telling you, I've got you. And anytime you do anything out there that's great, I'm going to run, celebrate, jump up and down. Woo! Give everybody a few Ric Flairs. It's going to be incredible. And he does. He does do that, guys. I made a joke once. I said that he comes off like your grandma that makes a pie and cookies. You know, right as you arrive, the whole house stinks of awesome baked goods. He feels like that as a guy. That's what he does with his players. And I'm sorry, I just don't think there's a problem with that. We've seen him win that way everywhere he's been. Everywhere. Even when he lost, he came back and he won. So I would trust him. I really would. Look, I agree with Darnold. Can we have another great year? If we got him, we could win games with him. I honestly owe Sam Darnold a little bit of respect. I felt honestly like he was a bust. I didn't feel like making him go to the Panthers and whoever else he went to in that little interim. I just thought he was done. You know what I mean? You see it sometimes. Some guys go into college and they're fantastic, and then they come to the pros and they just can't put it all together. You know what I mean? And they have all the physical gifts, but they just can't put it all together. I give a lot of credit to what they're doing in Minnesota because they really got his head right and got him slinging the rock. And I think all of us know that when you're a kid and you played football when you were younger and then you start getting older and you make it to the next level, you know what you can do. You know what you can do. You have confidence in yourself, even if it may not look like it. So when you don't have a good start and then some guy comes along and really, shows you with just little adjustments, nah, Sam, you got to do this. And when you feel that, you got to do this. And then just check down and don't try to overdo it. And then when they show it to you, hit them. And Minnesota looked like they might be the best team in football for a little while there. Mike Brown and Steven and Mrs. Shaw. I will think about getting Russell Wilson and the quarterbacks we have now. We could teach in, yes, George Prieto. I don't know how much of a pupil. No, not pupil. Excuse me. I don't know how much of a teacher Russell Wilson really likes to be, especially at this point in his career. You're teaching someone to take your job. I mean, we saw the same thing with the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins was going there. He was all excited, new contract, and then he sees them draft the future and got really mad and showed it in the press. He was pissed because when you do that, it doesn't matter what they say. Like if they say, oh, don't worry about him, Kirk, you're our guy. No, that's not true. When you give a rookie that super deal and it's cheap, you want to see if he's good enough to win with the team. So you get 4 years of cheap with winning. And so you want to get him out there as quick as you can to see if they can do it. So right when they signed him, Kirk Cousins knew that his season was going to be mid at best. Get to, game 8, game 10, somewhere in there, and they're going to take it from you and give it to the kid to see if he can do it. It was disgraceful, I thought. Let's see. Eric Bell said, but if we got Carroll, that might be a Wilson-Carroll reunion. Honestly, I don't know why that would be bad. They never did anything but get along. If anything, they got along too well because Pete Carroll was letting him have a computer in his locker room and his own private phone in the locker room. Pete Carroll allowed all that. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying if they had that good a relationship, I don't know why they couldn't reapply it again here with the Raiders. Corinna and Steven Shaw! Ben trying to buy... Oh, okay, Vicky again. I appreciate that. Surviving the diddler. I actually put that in my comments yesterday. Well, Diddy, part 3, next, or Raider football. Thankfully, it was Raider football. I don't want to talk about lube. No talk about lube. Okay, let's see. Didn't Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have a bad breakup in Seattle? Well, Travis, aren't they all? You know what I mean? But they're both professional. They both bounced around a little bit. One guy's out of the league as a coach. The other one, kind of went back and forth. He was always going to go over here. He's going to go over there. You know what I mean? These last couple of years. And then Pittsburgh. I think that they would accept the reunion because they know what they're capable of doing. I know I would. I may not like the guy, but if we won together, we probably could win again together. Oops. Okay, whoa. Eric Bell. Sorry, I got your comment right here. That's what I'm saying. Don't make me beat you like the C's did the Warriors. Yes, okay, the Boston Celtics. Let's try to remember they are the champs, okay? They may have put their foot in my Golden State Warriors, but that's no shame in that. They're the champs for now. Oh. All right, let's see here. Let me go back here. I had something else I wanted to tell you guys about. Okay, pending free agents are being considered a priority to resign. 11 players who become restricted or exclusive rights free agents in March of this year. Several of those players were key contributors to the Silver and Black's defense this season, including Robert Spillane, Trayvon Merrick, John Jenkins, who started, and John Jenkins, who started all 17 games. Got to sign those guys. Now, he does go and further mention about Jordan Meredith, Kayvon Chason, and Isaiah pull him out. Now, to me, Jordan Meredith probably I got to put some more thought into that one. I'm not really like immediately, oh, we got to get Jordan Meredith back. K'Lavon Chaisson, I also am kind of mildly excited about. Not completely 100% on board. And Isaiah Polamau, I'm 100% on board. We need to get him under contract. Okay, let me read this part right here too. Highest regarded quarterbacks in this draft class, Cam Ward from Miami and Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, could both be selected in the top 5. With the Raiders holding the number 6 overall pick, they would likely have to trade up a few spots or be patient and see if one of them slides if they desire either of these prospects. Now, I don't think that you should wait and pray a guy falls. If he isn't picked first, then you'd consider moving up to get him and just get your guy. Get him in the building, because too many times this pray he's going to be here or pray he's going to be there doesn't work. Now, if both guys are off the board, there are still some viable options later in the draft, like Riley Leonard of Notre Dame, Jalen Milroe of Alabama, who also, both of those guys combined for 36 rushing touchdowns last year. The two dual threat quarterbacks also initially agreed to attend the upcoming Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, who threw 4,279 yards and 29 touchdowns this last season, is also emerging as a dark horse prospect. And there was the mention I was giving you about Jackson Dart, that very excited about him and his potential. So the Raiders are going to get a quarterback, but will it be who we want? That's the question. Jeff Poindexter, I think he's good, but I think that we're going to go a different direction. What's up, Rick? Always there for a Raider Bear. So what changed your mind about Pete Carroll? When you first posted about him a couple weeks ago, you said pass. Now, the reason I said that was because I thought Ben Johnson was there and I wanted us to stay focused. And if it wasn't going to be him, I wanted it to maybe be Joe Brady, go with the other hot offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills. But now you're hearing that the only two candidates that have really been given extensive time was Ben Johnson and Pete Carroll. So I'm kind of riding on the coattails of my Raiders decisions that they made and decided to make to bring in Pete Carroll for a second interview. Oh man, I had to change my hat. That thing was squeezing my brains out of my ears. I know, right? To the contributor of the most stars tonight, we'll go this fine item and a couple of other items I'm going to sneak in the box just for funsies. Dominic Kleiber, what's up, DPC? Steven Shaw, Mike Brown, right down the stretch run, and Steven Shaw. Let me get a comment up here. There are potential decent quarterbacks in the 2025 draft. A right fit is always in play at number 6. The top number 2 won't be there. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, they may not be there because we move up and go get them. I'm not against the idea of us moving up because we don't know who the GM is going to be. So we can't say we're going to be the usual Raiders and not move up. We may move up, especially now with Tom showing that, if anything, the attitude that they've been showing Tom is going to bring in the building is go for it. If you see it, go for it. Don't hold back. Don't keep bullets in the gun. Empty that clip and be sure. You know what I mean? I have some other items for your show, Bear. PM or call you, brother. Okay, yeah. That'd be great. Thanks, Rick. Steven! Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. And good luck to you. And to you, Mike Brown. Good luck to you, Mike. And Karina Trujillo, good luck to you. Let's see. What about Todd Monken, the Baltimore offensive coordinator as a head coach? He definitely knows how to utilize the Bowers. He was his first college OC. And he's done some things with Lamar Jackson. He's made that offensive line pretty nice. I have read about Todd Monken, and I won't lie, I would be impressed by that. I would be impressed by that. In other words, like, to me, the Mike Vrabel, move was the move to make. Now, Mike Vrabel wanted to go to the Patriots because he's a former Patriot, so that wasn't there to make. But see, to me, if there's a guy that's just obvious, it's just glaring common sense, then you go out of your way and you do whatever it takes to go get your guy. And I don't feel like we did that with Ben Johnson. I think they didn't want Ben Johnson to come in the front door telling people what to do. Not quite that much. You know what I mean? Where with the Chicago Bears, he's going to be the grand poobah. And that's fine. That's cool. I don't mind that Chicago did that. If anything, I applaud him for being aggressive enough and confident enough to go out there and pull the trigger. Mike Brown Corinna. Ooh, hello. Mike Brown. I'm catching up. I'm trying to catch up. If I get my Twitter. Okay. Corinna, you know what? I honestly, I hope you win, girl. But if you don't win, I'll take care of you. Because you always take care of Raider Bear Family Page. So I'll absolutely take care of you. And Stephen Shaw and Mike Brown. You guys are just good people. So. Shane Street, that's my guy right there. I love him because he's married like me. He looks at his wife every single day like, good God, woman, I'm going to give you another baby. Yeah, Mark Vargas will be, Travis Hunter will be the top 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he was number 1. I know it's been 22 years, but until Brady tells Raider Nation that it was a fumble, whatever he does for us is going to feel tainted. Well, okay, first, Jim, he did own up to it. He did. It wasn't in the way he should have. It should have been on a special televised show. They should have advertised it to every Raider fan in the world and then said very long, every single day for like 2 weeks that the show's going to be on March 23rd and then have the show and have him do it. You know what I mean? And I just, as odd as that sounds, like over the top, like who would do that? I'm saying he should have though, because if he does that, you win over Raider Nation like that. Even if whether he's the right guy or not isn't the point. If he just humbles himself and says, I'm here, I'm a part owner, and I got to tell you guys, I got away with one. It was a fumble. I definitely got away with one. The interpretation was by the refs. It wasn't me. I don't know if it was the league. I just know that when the moment happened, I thought, oh man, Charlie Woodson, my former teammate with Michigan, Wolverines got me. And then they said, no, it's a tuck, Mike Brown, Stephen Shaw, Vicky Gibb. Wait, you change your. No, Eric Bell, it wasn't a commercial break. It's just that this other hat is so new and it's a fitted, so it was squeezing me really hard. But I was going through the Raider perp tonight. So, and it was just squeezing my head off. He actually owned it a million years later, obviously, when it was too late. Okay. Corinna! At this point, I'm thinking just take Deion Sanders and his son. It's just too much pressure. Reyes Antonio. Appreciate the love. Yeah, Mark Vargas, I saw that. They had a special, and the two of them were on like some kind of tan couch. It looked like they were at Charlie Woodson's house, like in his game room or something. And he looked at Tom and he said, come on, man, just say it. It's not Tom, just Tom. Come on, man. Just say it. And he wouldn't. He wouldn't say it on that episode. He wouldn't say it on camera. I know he said it since, but on that particular time when his friend from school who he went into battles with, he wouldn't say it. I thought that was kind of dirty. Mike Brown and Corinna. Woo! True. Hello. All good, brother. All right, so moving forward, let me go back over here, pull up my other tab I was reading so I can give you some other stuff. I just want to read this out loud about Jalen Where's the thing on Jalen Milroe? Okay, there we go. Jalen Milroe capped his Alabama career with a dynamic 2024 season that showcased both his immersive potential and his immense potential and areas for growth. The Texas native accounted for 35 total touchdowns, including 20 of those being rushing on the ground touchdowns. That ranked him second nationally among quarterbacks, while throwing for 2,844 yards with a 65% completion rate. You know, I just, what's the guy got to do? I don't know what the Raiders are thinking. I just think Jalen. Oh, wow. I just read you the thing on Jalen Milroe and I didn't realize what I was reading. I thought that was Cam Ward's. Oh, well, hey, look, Jalen Milroe, man. No, I'm just playing. Let me go in here real quick. Here it is. Okay, Cam Ward. Sorry, I gave me the wrong one. From unheralded Texas high school prospect Heisman finalist Cameron Ward ascendance has got the scouting buzzing. The West Columbia natives' journey through Incarnate Word and Washington State, who wrote this, culminated in a record-shattering 2024 campaign at Miami, where he rewrote the Hurricanes record books, and we all know the Hurricanes, have a vast history of great players. Ward's evolution from FCS standout to Power 5 sensation showcases his rapid development curve, finishing with 4,123 passing yards and breaking both Bernie Kosar's single-season passing record and Steve Walsh's touchdown mark. His abrupt halftime exit from the Pop-Tarts Bowl has become a significant talking point among evaluators. So there you have it. And again, like I was saying before, every school, every system that Cam Ward went into, he was phenomenal. I'm just reading, Rick. Dart might be a better fit. All quarterbacks need some type of development. I agree. I was accidentally reading Jalen Milroe. I thought I'd hit the Cam Ward tab, and I guess I missed it. Mark Vargas, I don't really like the idea of Dion and his son. I really don't. Even though I do think Shedeur Sanders is a capable quarterback that could be a starter for a pro team. I just don't like the idea of bringing in his dad, who is, a mildly experienced coach, and not at the NFL level. And, we can't just keep saying he has coaching experience. That's in college. You know what I mean? It's a long known rule by football fans that college coaches, more often than not, come up to the NFL and struggle or are just bad. So Mr. Crimson Tide went up there and he was terrible. Corinna and Mike Brown. Corinna Trujillo. Appreciate the love on the stars, and all the stars will be calculated at the end of the show, and then we will post the winner tomorrow for all of you to know who won, and then we will take care of you and send that to you in the mail. All right, Alexa, resume. This weird version of this song she's playing. It's my normal song, but now she's got like some guy rapping with it. Yeah, I saw the Jackson Dart measurables. Mark Vargas, 6'2", 225. I love it. Coming right out of the school, he looks like he can handle the job. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. That's right, Stephen Shaw. That's right, Corinna Trujillo. Get those last bids in, because I let it rip right through the song. And then the show's over. I've still got a solid minute. No, Mark Vargas, that's my guy, Quinn Ewers. If we end up with Quinn Ewers, Super Bowl. Hey, look, he reminds me of Luka Doncic, okay? Little chubby, very pale, but gets it done. Stephen Shaw and Mike round. I know, Vicky, again, I'm done. Can you believe this? You got to catch my show in the beginning, girl. Semper Fi. Hoorah. Mike. Round. Lucky Pace making his feelings known. We got about Milrow. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Space Force, and all. Much love, and I will see you again tomorrow night. R8RBEAR family page. Peace.